So if I told you to build a multi-million-dollar business right now, you would probably start sketching out, like, a wireframe for a new software app or something.
Right, yeah. Or looking for venture capital.
Exactly. When we think about wealth creation today, our minds almost automatically drift to some flashy tech startup,
Okay.
or maybe some revolutionary AI platform.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
We definitely tend to romanticize the complex stuff.
we do. But, and this is the hook for today, what if the greatest modern wealth creation vehicle involves absolutely zero code?
That's the real question.
Right. What if the most reliable, proven path to building a scalable enterprise is literally sitting directly behind your house right now?
I mean, it is a massive paradigm shift for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But if you look at the data, the most robust business opportunities often hide in plain sight. They exist in physical, essential industries that, well, they just haven't fundamentally changed in decades.
Which means they are incredibly ripe for a modern overhaul.
Exactly. A systems-driven overhaul.
And that is exactly our mission for today's deep dive. We are unpacking a highly structured home services franchise model called Stand Strong Fencing.
It's such a great case study.
It really is. And we aren't just going to read you a brochure here. We want to treat this as a masterclass in franchise buyer psychology, unit economics, and multi-unit growth strategies.
Which is highly relevant for you if you're currently sitting in a corporate job right now,
Mm.
just weighing the risk of leaving a stable career to become an owner.
Right, because taking that leap is scary.
Oh, terrifying. But understanding the mechanics of a model like this, analyzing how it actually functions behind the scenes, that's what separates a successful transition from, quite frankly, a very expensive mistake.
Spot on. So let's start with the market itself and the product because, you can't understand the financial engine until you understand why a consumer actually chooses one company over another.
Right.
If you look at the local home services market, I mean, it is incredibly fragmented.
Oh, completely.
Like, if you need a fence built, you might call 3 local contractors. One just never calls you back.
Happens all the time.
Right. One promises an estimate on Tuesday, completely ghosts you and shows up on Thursday, and the third guy just hands you a quote scribbled on the back of a business card.
And that fragmentation right there is exactly where the massive opportunity lies.
That's so.
Well, from a consumer psychology standpoint, the modern customer, you, me, anyone listening, we have been conditioned by tech giants.
Oh, sure. Amazon, Uber.
Exactly.
Mm.
We expect absolute reliability, immediate communication, polished service. I mean, we want to track the pizza we ordered on our phone down to the minute.
Yeah, true.
So we certainly expect to know exactly when a contractor is showing up to our house. But historically, the home contracting space has been dominated by small, independent operators.
Who just lack that scale.
Right. They simply lack the operational infrastructure to provide that Fortune 500 level of service.
I mean, they might be master carpenters, but they aren't necessarily master operators.
Precisely. And Stand Strong Fencing approaches this by standardizing the entire product line and the service delivery.
And their product line is huge. Looking at the model, they aren't just, nailing up pine boards.
No, not at all.
They cover both residential and commercial projects. They offer traditional wood, high-tensile steel, aluminum, chain link, vinyl, wrought iron, composite. They even do deck installation and fence staining.
I want to pause on that product variety for a second, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because from an investor's perspective, that isn't just about giving the customer choices. It's really about revenue diversification.
Oh, interesting. Like having multiple buckets.
Exactly. When you offer secure chain link and heavy-duty steel alongside residential wood and vinyl, you immediately open the door to lucrative B2B commercial contracts.
Right.
A local school district needing a perimeter fence,
Yeah.
or a warehouse needing security gates. Those are high-ticket commercial jobs that completely insulate the business if the residential housing market cools down.
That makes a lot of sense. You aren't just tied to a single homeowner demographic. But, and this is the specific detail I really wanted to drill into, they have this thing called the Stand Strong Promise.
Yeah.
It's a lifetime workmanship warranty.
It's a game changer.
It sounds wild to me. In an industry where you're usually just crossing your fingers that the guy answers his cell phone if your gate starts sagging 3 months later,
Right.
how does a local fencing franchise actually afford to take on that kind of liability?
Well, it all comes down to the mechanics of standardization. A lifetime warranty sounds like a massive liability if your contractors are, cutting corners or sourcing cheap, inconsistent material.
Yeah, which happens a lot.
But if you control the supply chain, If you mandate exactly where the materials come from and you enforce a rigorous, standardized training protocol for every single installation, you drastically mitigate that risk.
Ah, so it's controlled from the top down.
Exactly. The warranty isn't a gamble. It's a calculated mathematical outcome of extreme quality control.
And I bet that completely changes the sales conversation.
Oh, completely. Trust is the ultimate conversion tool.
Right.
When a homeowner is looking at that scribbled estimate from the local independent guy, and then they look at a polished digital presentation from a franchise offering a lifetime workmanship guarantee, the value proposition just shifts.
You're not just racing to the bottom to offer the cheapest price anymore.
No, you're competing on peace of mind. And the consumer will very often pay a premium for the guarantee that the job will be done right once.
Wow, yeah. And let's pivot a bit here. Like, a lifetime warranty sounds great on paper, and it might help close a deal at the kitchen table, but it's completely useless if you can't actually get the phone to ring in the first place.
Right.
Or if you lose the lead because you were busy pouring concrete somewhere. So how does Stand Strong ensure the franchise can actually acquire and manage customers at a high volume?
This is where we really have to analyze the transition from being a contractor to being a CEO.
Okay, lay it on me.
The entire infrastructure of this franchise is built around customer acquisition and retention technology. Lead flow is the oxygen of any service business.
Absolutely.
So Stand Strong operates using a dedicated national call center and partnerships with top-tier marketing agencies to drive those leads.
I really want to break down the technology they use because their model heavily emphasizes their CRM and this virtual estimator tool.
The tech stack is incredible.
Right. And a CRM, a customer relationship management system, is essentially the digital brain of the business, right?
Exactly.
Instead of a whiteboard with sticky notes in a messy garage, the second a customer calls, their details, quotes, follow-up dates, it's all locked into a software pipeline.
It literally prompts the owner or the sales team on exactly who to call and when.
Which prevents the #1 revenue killer in local service businesses' leads falling through the cracks.
Oh, yeah. If a homeowner requests a quote and nobody follows up for 48 hours, that lead is dead.
They've already called someone else.
Exactly. But the CRM automates that follow-up.
But the virtual estimator is what really caught my eye.
It's so cool.
They use technology that pulls high-resolution satellite imagery of a customer's property.
Yeah.
So the franchise owner or their sales rep can digitally measure the perimeter of the yard and generate a custom, highly accurate quote in minutes right from a laptop.
I mean, just think about the operational efficiency of that mechanism.
It's great.
Traditionally, a fencing contractor has to physically drive a truck to 5 different houses across town in a single day.
In traffic.
Right. They walk the yard with a measuring wheel, drive back to the office, calculate the materials, and then maybe email a quote 2 days later.
If they remember.
Exactly. The virtual estimator collapses a 3-day, labor-intensive process into a 20-minute digital interaction.
Wow.
You are drastically lowering your customer acquisition cost because you aren't paying for fuel and labor hours just to deliver an estimate.
Okay, but I do have to push back here for a second. We're talking about satellite imagery and digital pipelines, but at the end of the day, fences are physical structures.
They are.
They require heavy materials and manual labor. So if I'm a corporate executive listening to this and I want to buy this franchise to scale my wealth, what is my actual day-to-day?
Right.
Am I out in the July heat swinging hammers and digging post holes? Because if I am, this isn't an investment. It's just a grueling job.
It's a vital question, and it's usually the first thing people ask. But if we look at how this model is designed, the answer is a hard no. You are not digging post holes.
Okay.
You are buying into what the industry calls a turnkey scalable model. Think of it like buying into a fast food supply chain.
Like a burger franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you buy a major burger franchise, you aren't personally sourcing the potatoes or standing over the fryer. Your job is to manage the managers and ensure the proven system is executed.
So you're basically building an organizational chart.
Precisely. In this model, the franchise owner hires project managers, sales reps, and installation crews. The owner's role is executive. You are reviewing the key performance indicators, the KPIs inside that CRM. You're looking at lead conversion rates, managing the local marketing spend, and focusing on the strategic multi-unit growth of the business.
So the system really does the heavy lifting.
Yeah. The call center handles the inbound friction, the software handles the quoting, your crews handle the installation. You just manage the metrics.
That distinction is huge. You are buying a system that allows you to operate strictly as an executive.
Exactly.
So knowing that this robust tech-enabled engine exists, let's talk about the barrier to entry. What does it actually cost to get the keys to this machine?
Let's get into the numbers.
The data shows the total initial investment range sits between $178,000 and $300,000.
Which is a highly strategic price point in the franchise industry.
I really want to break down where that money actually goes because $300,000 isn't just a check you write to the parent company.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. According to standard franchise models in this tier, that investment range accounts for the initial franchise fee, wrapping and outfitting your initial fleet of trucks, securing warehouse space.
Buying your initial inventory of fencing materials.
Right, and funding the grand opening marketing blitz. Plus, crucially, having working capital to keep the lights on while the business scales its cash flow in the first few months.
Exactly. It is a fully capitalized launch. And to qualify for this, an investor needs a minimum liquid cash injection of $75,000 and a total net worth of $400,000.
Okay, but let's look at the ongoing fees because this is a question I hear a lot.
Sure.
The data explicitly states there is an ongoing royalty fee of 8.5% of gross sales. In a physical business with hard material costs, labor costs, vehicle maintenance skimming almost 9% right off the top sounds like a lot.
It does.
How does a franchise actually achieve profitability when they're giving up that much of their revenue?
It's probably the most common question from prospective buyers, and it really requires looking at the return on investment of that royalty fee.
Okay, break that down.
You have to ask yourself, what is that 8.5% actually replacing?
Right.
If you started an independent fencing company today, you'd have to pay a local marketing agency a retainer. You have to pay a receptionist to answer the phones.
And software subscription fees for a CRM, satellite estimation tools?
Exactly. And building that infrastructure a la carte is incredibly expensive.
Oh, for sure.
The 8.5% royalty fee funds the national call center that answers your leads within seconds. It funds the continuous development of that satellite tech. It funds national brand marketing.
So it's pooled resources.
Yes. In many cases, the efficiencies gained and the sheer volume of leads captured by just not missing phone calls actually outpaces the cost of the royalty. It replaces overhead you would otherwise have to manage and pay for locally at a much higher, much less efficient rate.
That completely changes the perspective. The royalty isn't just a tax, it's essentially an outsourced operations budget.
That's a perfect way to put it.
And that actually leads us to a specific data point regarding the corporate backing that really stood out to me.
Which one?
The Stand Strong Fencing franchise officially launched in 2023. Currently, they have 9 active units. But, and this is the crazy part, they are backed by an astounding 250 employees at their corporate headquarters.
That's massive.
I need you to explain this to the listener because 250 corporate employees supporting a brand that started in 2023 with 9 units seems completely disproportionate. How does that math work?
Well, that ratio is actually the secret weapon of this specific investment. Stand Strong Fencing is a member of the Horsepower Brands family.
Oh, okay.
And Horsepower Brands is a massive, established parent network that owns and scales multiple home service franchises.
So they aren't just a standalone startup, they're plugged into a giant corporate ecosystem.
Exactly. When an aspiring buyer is evaluating a franchise, one of the biggest risks with an emerging brand is that the franchisor sells territories way faster than they can support them.
Right?
The brand goes viral, they sell 100 units, and suddenly a small corporate team of 10 people is completely overwhelmed.
The training suffers, the call center crashes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the local owners fare because the operations just collapsed under the weight of their own success.
They try to build the airplane while they're flying it, and eventually the wings fall off.
Exactly. But by launching under the Horsepower Brands umbrella, Stand Strong is utilizing a massive, pre-existing infrastructure.
So those 250 employees are already there.
Yes. They represent dedicated marketing teams, franchise business coaches, legal compliance officers, and tech support that are already on payroll.
That's huge.
It signals to a multi-unit investor that this brand can handle aggressive national expansion without the support system faltering for a single second.
And I imagine having that kind of parent company backing heavily influences how a buyer actually secures funding.
Oh, undeniably.
We mentioned the liquid cash requirement is $75,000, but the total investment goes up to $300,000. For someone looking to bridge that gap, how do they do it? The models always mention SBA loans.
Yeah, the SBA, the Small Business Administration, their loan program is a cornerstone of franchise financing.
How does it work practically?
The mechanics are pretty simple. The government doesn't lend you the money directly, but they guarantee a portion of the loan to a traditional bank. It acts as a safety net for the lender.
It de-risks the loan for the bank.
Precisely. And banks love lending to established franchise models, especially those under a massive parent network like horsepower brands.
Because it's a known quantity.
Right. The historical failure rate is drastically lower than an independent mom-and-pop startup. The business model is proven, the unit economics are already mapped out, and the corporate support acts as an insurance policy on the bank's capital.
That makes total sense.
And an investment under $300,000 is really the absolute sweet spot for securing favorable SBA financing, which allows an investor to leverage debt to build equity.
Which brings us to the human element of this entire deep dive.
The most important part.
Truly. We can analyze the spreadsheets, the satellite tech, and the bank financing all day long, but taking the leap from being a W-2 employee with a steady paycheck, a 401k, health benefits...
Like bull in handcuffs.
Yeah, exactly. Taking the leap from that to becoming a business owner responsible for a team and a P&L statement, that is a massive psychological hurdle. It is terrifying.
It is.
How does a model like this ensure their franchisees actually succeed once the ink on the contract is dry?
Well, it really comes down to mitigating what I call the cost of ignorance.
Ooh, I like that term.
When you transition from a corporate job to an independent business owner, you go from being a specialist to a generalist.
Right.
Suddenly you have to know HR, payroll, local marketing algorithms, sales psychology, and supply chain logistics.
It's overwhelming.
And if you start a business from scratch in your garage, you pay for your education through mistakes.
Yeah.
You hire the wrong digital agency.
Yeah.
You price a massive commercial job incorrectly and lose money. You mishandle a customer dispute.
The tuition of the real world.
Yes. And those mistakes cost time, they cost capital, and very often they cost the business itself.
Yep.
The true value of a franchise isn't just the fact that they can source aluminum fencing. The true value is that the franchisor has already made and solved all of those costly mistakes for you over thousands of iterations.
You are basically buying the cheat code.
You are buying a proven playbook. The brand offers comprehensive, rigorous training up front, but more importantly, ongoing operational support.
Like the coaching.
Exactly. You are paired with a franchise business coach. It's a really engaging culture where the franchisor continually updates the tech stack, refines the customer service protocols, and analyzes your local metrics with you.
Wow.
If your cost per lead spikes in your specific zip code, you have a team of corporate analysts helping you diagnose why and pivot the strategy.
It's essentially having an experienced board of directors for your local business from day one.
That's exactly what it is.
It dramatically lowers the anxiety of entrepreneurship because you are in business for yourself, but never by yourself.
And that transparent communication model is what builds sustainable growth. Knowledge is most valuable when it is understood and applied. The franchisor provides the knowledge. Your role as the CEO is simply to apply it ruthlessly in your market. The business empire you've been dreaming of building, your next massive career move, could literally be sitting right in your backyard.
An incredibly powerful way to look at it. The opportunity is right in front of us, beautifully disguised as ordinary life.